For a year, Asian Americans, I feel like, have been crying for help. You know, it started off last year in the very beginning of the pandemic when, you know, you had so many Asian voices saying, do not call it the China virus. Do not call it Kung flu. Don't make light of it. It's not just, you know, a casual phrase that you throw around lightly. It will have real consequences. And nobody listened.
It makes me feel like our community's been brushed under the rug. Like there's been all these instances, but I don't think the news coverage has been like really as predominantly focused on it as it could have been, and especially in lieu of like recent events. I think we're finally starting to gain some attention from other communities, and I think that's a good thing.
I like to compare the Atlanta shootings to the Capitol riots because nothing was being done and something was just bound to happen, and it all just blew up into a catastrophic event. It's important that we be proactive and get to this problem before it gets to us.
I've never had like one of those like massive aggressive acts towards me, but I think it's like those small comments that like are always said and like don't really get that much attention just because they're like small comments and everyone just brushes them aside because, oh, it's just a joke or something.
Jokes that people would make about dog eating, cat eating, and making fun of our languages, like mocking our languages. I've had people pull their eyes in front of me before when they saw me and my other Asian friends. I have had people call me chink before, like just on the streets, thinking that I wouldn't notice or thinking that I wouldn't talk back. And for a long time, I never talked back.
I'm just on a Zoom call, just participating. Like they say, open your eyes. And it's like, okay, my eyes are open. I don't know what you want.
It's so repeated. And then when people tell you that it's just a joke, you don't really have a right to be angry because it's just a joke. Then you kind of like internalize it and you're like, okay, if they're gonna laugh at me, well, you know, like I should be a part of that as well. You know, at least that way they'll accept me, right? So
I wanted to fit in so badly growing up that I didn't want to give, you know, anybody a reason to single me out, to say that I'm a baby or I can't handle a joke or anything. So I just let it go. But now I'm realizing that, you know, those things added up over decades. And then you have, you know, 4 years of an administration that almost condones racism and xenophobia. You end up in the situation that we are now, where people are so much more brazen in their attacks. They don't even hide it anymore.
I have, like, my sister, my mom, and my grandma especially, you know, whenever you see an attack like what happened in Atlanta, you always feel like that could happen to them as well, right? You just really feel scared for your loved ones. My grandma, which is turned 76, you know, she's in the very high risk category for coronavirus, right? When you have to fear for her safety because of the coronavirus, but also because someone might just like attack her on the street, it's kind of crazy.
The existence of those hate crimes and those actions against Asians made me like rethink how other people perceive me, and I feel myself checking my shoulder more just because of them.
What at least I've come to realize over the last year is that my acceptance here in America was completely conditional on being invisible.
When we learned about race in school, because we're talking about segregation in first grade, and the way that the teacher prefaced this entire thing was she said there were two races, you could either be black or white, and black people had darker skin and white people had lighter skin. And, you know, in that moment, you know, kids try to put themselves in that situation, and I thought that I was white because my skin tone isn't really as dark as Martin Luther King Jr. So, you know, that was just like, looking back, it makes me feel almost like we aren't really represented. It's always been presented as kind of, race has always been presented as black and white kind of literally, and everyone else just kind of gets left behind almost. I feel like there needs to be like a change in education, be inclusive to not just Asian Americans, but just all minorities in America.
I think the first thing that I hope people do is they look at the Asian American people they have in their life and they listen to them. Take the time to learn about all of the different diverse cultures within the Asian community. You know, I think that's one of the dangers of the model minority myth is it assumes we're one large monolithic group, which we are very clearly not. Say that out loud, that you're gonna stand with the Asian American community. If you see injustice happening, call it out. Don't just walk away, don't turn your back, but call it out and make sure that, you know, you're standing up.
I think now with all these actions similar to the Black Lives Matter protest, like these events, despite how horrible they are, can jumpstart like these broader reforms and lead to political organizations to start doing something about it. And I think that we have the potential to do it. It's just whether the people are willing to take action and whether the politicians are willing to sign on to it.